Thank you, Ryna, for coming and being a wonderful facilitator. Can you tell us why do you think it's important for the young generation to know about wealth?
I think it's very important because wealth is a system, as I say it. So it's a system that frames the concept of abundance. You can enable the concept of abundance through the understanding of how wealth works as a system. But unfortunately, today, wealth is mostly seen by people through the lens of monetary equivalent or the financial equivalent. And the financial equivalent has become more complex than some civilizations did. So it's very hard for younger generation, also for adults, to navigate the complexity of the concept of wealth. When the rising generation who are born into privilege and who are going to inherit wealth and businesses from their parents, from their family, they're actually inheriting not only assets, they're inheriting concepts, beliefs, stories, values, patterns, habits. So that's much more to the concept of wealth than the asset and portfolio balance sheet. And that's a very complex science to learn. And there is no program whatsoever, as far as I know so far, that teaches people what I call wealth intelligence. And I believe that the rising generation and empowerment of the rising generation to make choices, right, balanced, harmonious, peaceful, just choices with respect to their family wealth or to the wealth they're going to create themselves, so the first generation, is our way forward to really help the world become more regenerative, more caring, and the situation in the world more balanced, peaceful, just, and alive.
That would mean that we do really have 9 different definitions of wealth. It was fascinating to see it and for the girls to really immerse themselves into these concepts. Can you tell us about that tool?
Well, within the wealth intelligence program that I usually teach, yes, we do use a lot of archetypal work and frameworks that look at the concept of wealth from various angles. So we look at the 9 language concepts of wealth, at the 9 religious concepts of wealth, at the 9 psychological concepts of wealth. So, and many more 9s are present. And why we're doing this is because the archetypal work helps us see the diversity of triggers and elements that compile wealth as a system. And that it's not a binary system. It's a very diversified, multi-layered, and interconnected alive system, as well as we human beings are very alive and interconnected and diverse. So to be able to navigate the complexity of that system of wealth as a certain algorithmic fractal concept, if you will, I believe is very crucial for somebody in either of privileged or underprivileged background, because it actually allows you to connect many dots and put all other types of knowledge into perspective eventually. For instance, we learn about resilience. So how would resilience help you boost, for instance, your life force capital? This is exactly the way this concept that I teach from the wealth, it makes sense. It makes it very practical for people to understand what it is that they're getting from it, and that their wealth is much more beyond the money, but they can run it similar to how their parents, if we talk about the rising generation, that the rising generation and every person can run their life capitalization similarly to how their parents or finance people run the balance sheets of the company. And it's hard and not hard as long as you are just implementing very systematic tools.
The girls and that generation is much more purpose-driven than what previous generations have been. They really are looking for meaning. And you brought across many points in that space and life force and that wealth of the life force behind it. What's the life force and the purpose that's animating you in your workshops?
Well, thank you for the question. My purpose behind the work that I'm doing, that I call sovereign wealth care, is help restore balance and harmony and social equity, if you will, in the world overall. In a sense that I would like each and every person to really see how wealthy he or she is already, whatever happens. And in this world, in this changing world, with all the hectic and unstable and climate-wise quite dangerous environment, and I hope that the world overall is going to be a better place, but assume it's not. And it requires much more self-awareness and also eagerness to collaborate between the people. And I hope that as long as each of us can see what his or her wealth is and what are the leading life capitals in your own life capitalization portfolio is, then you can more clearly see and appreciate other person's life capitals and understand better how you can together collaborate to amplify each other's life capital and eventually create more wealth for everybody involved. And I hope this approach can just support all of us in really building a regenerative economy and just help balance back the harmony in the world.
One of the big pillars of Resilience Girls program is to boost the self-confidence, faith, and bring all the hidden talents to the surface so the girls realize that they already have so much, that they already know. So I think that aspect of bringing their capitals, you know, the 9 different capitals like creativity, intellectual, financial, life force, added a fantastic piece to this whole program, to the ideals that we hold for the girls and for the young generation. We want them to walk away from this workshop realizing that they already have so much, that they're so powerful, that they have these talents. Maybe they don't realize that they have these talents, but I think just to see these 9 capitals that you saw, it just made me feel like, wow, already there's so much. So I think that type of work is so valuable for young generation, also for the adults, to really go through that process, for them to look back in their life and bring these talents out there, and so they take them further in creating their life maybe after retirement,
right,
or life in the next stage of life. So thank you for this. I'm really grateful. And I just want to say that in the Girls Resilience program, we invite people who think alike, who align with us, with the belief that this is a movement. It's not just one-time event. It's a whole movement that we need to engage in, because we need to raise new generations of people. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoyed your work.
And there is a phrase, a quote that comes to my mind by a famous philosopher, Henry Thoreau, who says, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. Mm-hmm. So I would really wish for everybody who is watching us now, even if they don't come to our programs or workshops, just think into it and feel into it, that everybody is already wealthy, and as much that they can fully experience their lives, their talents, and see how wealth is created by every choice that they make. I think this would be just make our world a more more wealthy, wealthful, and beautiful place to be, where everybody is just simply exchanging and amplifying each other's wealth and our common wealth altogether. And I hope that the workshop, this wealth intelligence workshop that we just delivered, also helps, especially the girls, to claim their sovereign definitions of wealth and live through that, and being able to really, own and steward their own wealth, irrespective of what the outer world tells them, just to come back to the origins and remember what wealth was when the word wealth appeared in many languages, as we saw today.
Yes. Thank you.